to create a HubSpot powered revenue engine with David Roma. We're going to jump into some intros while everybody is joining in. We've got 39 people here already, and it's just kind of trickling in here at the top of the hour. So while we're waiting for a few others to join us, if you want to introduce yourself in the chat, we want to know what your experience is. Are you a CMS dev? Are you a marketer or an SEO? Are you a HubSpot CMS theme user? I've dropped the emojis in the chat if you want to copy paste, or there's like a little emoji picker next to the arrow. If you want to pick your own unique emoji, you can pick any of them. So I'm going to drop mine in. I don't know, I'm going to be bold and call myself a CMS developer on this call, even though Anton is here. I think I should pick marketer on this one. Yes, John, awesome. Victoria, so we've got marketers here. Wonderful. This is going to be super helpful for you guys. Lots of marketers, got some shades going on. Oh, a dev and a theme user. Awesome. Hey, awesome. Theme users, lots of theme users. Who does not love a HubSpot theme? I know I do. Awesome, Carlos. No business owner emoji, founder emoji, rocket ship. I don't know. That seems like a good one for business owner. You're in the new frontier. Anton, yes. Awesome. Anton is deving his theme. Yep, just started his company. So
nice.
Very cool. Anton is also one of the hosts of the Developer Hug. So if any of you are developers, I guess that's a link that I can drop and share, unless Anton is quicker than me. Developers, is this one? I don't know if this is the right one, but let's start with this. This is a developer event. That's not the one I wanted though. There we go. Anton's beat me to it. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Anton. Okay, lots of marketers. Awesome. Another dev. Ooh, I want to know, what is the credit card and money mean? Finance? Are we in finance? Accounting? Or that's a new one. We got a smiley face. Love it. I'm just happy to be here. All right, very cool. Okay, so lots of marketers. I'm curious. Okay, if anybody wants to specify, for those of you that are developers, so CMS developer, perfect. If you put marketer or SEO, curious how many of you are specific with SEO, if you're doing SEO, or if you are primarily marketing. So if you're SEO, maybe type SEO, drop SEO in the chat. How many of you guys have SEO experience or do any kind of SEO? It could be technical SEO. It could be awesome CMS SEO, content SEO. Awesome. Megan, PPC. So we are going to talk a little bit about that.
I was just about to ask about PPC. Yeah, because we're going to talk about PPC in here. Yeah, if you have PPC experience, let us know.
Hey, Gabrielle, SEO through HubSpot Academy. That is how you start. Yes. SEO is a state of mind. That's what I like to tell myself.
Especially with AI changing things. It's definitely, yes. SEO is a lifestyle.
Okay, so for anybody, hopefully when you guys signed up for the Hug, we're going to jump in here to intros on our part in just a second. But if you guys signed up for the event, hopefully you joined the Hug. If you didn't, I want to make sure you have a couple links. The first link is for the Hug itself. If you join the Hug, you'll get notifications for upcoming events, and that's a great way to stay connected with people in this group. And then the other one that I'm going to share is we have a special connect.com community, and I will be talking more about that at the end of this. But in case anybody has to leave, I'm going to drop the special invite at the top so you can join us there. It looks like we have 50 people, which is incredible for live. We had over 165. Let me see, somebody. It was crazy numbers.
Of signups.
185 signups. So thank you guys for being here live. That's incredible. For anybody who couldn't make it live, yes, we are going to send out the recording. We will send out the slide deck because it is meant to be a guide for you. And we are going to jump in to a quick overview of the agenda and intros on our side. So David is here today. Obviously, we're doing intros. He's going to be talking about the 3 pillars of how to create a HubSpot powered revenue engine. So we've got a little bit of strategy and planning for you so that if this is all new, you know where to get started. And then there's the 3 pillars, right? We've got traffic generation, ads, PPC, SEO, all those good things. Conversion optimization. Once they're on your website, once they're on your landing pages, how are you optimizing for conversion? And the third one is CRM. And hopefully with all of you guys being HubSpot users, you've got your SQLs and MQLs sorted, but we're going to talk through that a little bit. And we're going to make sure that you have a good understanding of how this all works and continue maybe the conversation a little bit with which pillar you're focused on. Because we all know, like, hey, if you have your traffic generation down, but you're not converting, then maybe you need to spend more time on that piece. If you don't even have your CRM set up, you probably don't want to start driving traffic to your website. So, everybody's probably in a different spot, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get going. So I will do a quick intro. For those of you that don't know me, I am the SEO plus performance plus CMS hug leader. I started it, I guess, 2 years ago because I just love HubSpot and building websites on HubSpot. It's been about 8 years since I first used HubSpot for a website. I am located in Temple, Texas, which is an hour north of Austin. Growing up, it was about 40 minutes north of Austin, but it's grown so much here and traffic. It takes a little bit longer to get there now. Currently an independent consultant and a HubSpot community champion. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, I will drop my LinkedIn in the chat and let David introduce himself. He is an amazing person that I've had the pleasure of being in the same sphere of influence in the dev community for a long time now. Greatly admire the work that he's done with his theme and some of the things that he's got going on. And I'm just really excited that we have him here today.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I feel the same way about you. My name is Dave Roma. I am a lifelong web developer. I got into SEO, PPC, lead generation about 20 years ago. And I've just always had a passion for both, really. I've always wanted to find ways to combine web development with SEO, PPC, and lead gen. I live in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm the founder of Drive, which is a HubSpot solutions partner agency. We do HubSpot CMS web dev and coaching around all these topics around lead gen. And yeah, if you want to connect with me, LinkedIn is a good place, just Dave Roma. And this is an AI generated photo of me, which actually came out pretty well.
That's pretty amazing.
I know, right? I paid $35 for this. I can't remember the name of the company. I'll send it in the Connect. $35. They generated like 100 AI photo, professional like headshots. And I would say probably 30 of them were excellent. So yeah. Worth it.
I mean, but it looks just like, I would not have known that was AI.
Yeah. Like, if you really zoom in, you can see this, like, okay, things are a little too perfect, but if you keep it a distance, it looks pretty good.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. All right. Dave is going to do a little bit more of an introduction before we jump into the presentation. I'm going to go on mute for a little bit so that you guys can hear all of his wonderfulness. Please, I will be in the chat with you guys. I'll be sharing links, keeping the conversation rolling. And yeah, I'll let you take it from here.
Okie dokie. Yeah. So just a little bit about me. Like I said, I've been a web developer my whole life, into SEO and PPC and lead gen for a really long time. I started my HubSpot partner agency in like 2018, I think, through HubSpot CMS Dev. Basically work with businesses of all sizes, small businesses, large businesses like Reddit. I just brought Reddit onto HubSpot CMS, which was pretty cool. I think they were my largest client ever. And I'm also a HubSpot theme developer. So I have 12 themes in HubSpot's marketplace. Maybe you guys are using one of them right now. Accelerator, Magnetic, Momentum, Designly, one of those. Maybe you're using one, maybe not, but they have a collective of over 40,000 downloads. So I work with a lot of HubSpot customers on this kind of stuff because I coach a lot of them. Because look, everybody wants to build a website that is a lead generating machine and actually generates money. And so I end up working with a lot of my theme customers on how to do this. and, enterprise HubSpot customers too, like Reddit, because whether you're a small business or a huge company, at the end of the day, we all want the website to do the same thing, right? And even if you're in e-commerce, I would assume most people on this call are involved in lead gen because you're in the HubSpot ecosystem. But one way or another, that's what we want our website to do, which is to produce like money results, leads, sales, product signups, etc. Okie dokie. So should I just jump into all this, Jen?
Yep, it's all yours from
Okay,
here.
good.
Unless you need me, I'm gonna stay out of your way.
Okie dokie. So yeah. So why am I talking about this? Well, that's why, because over the years, I've just worked with so many companies that are building websites, whether they're HubSpot customers or not, small companies or big, and everyone wants to build a website that's going to generate leads. And I just see a lot of companies not doing it correctly, right? Whether they build a really good website and maybe it's optimized for conversions, but they're not nailing a traffic strategy, or they're generating bad traffic to their website, so they're generating bad leads. At some point, like one of these pillars is off. And so I just wanted to create this sort of system so that I can at least address the core components of creating a website to do what we all want our websites to do, which is generate leads and generate money. So, that's why I really care about this stuff. Because like I said, I'm a developer and a marketer. I love both. So naturally, if you love both things, that's the sort of culmination of those two things. And I want you to think about during this presentation where your business is in this journey. Like Jen said before, maybe you're nailing traffic generation. You have really good traffic to your site, but your site's not producing leads. How come? Let's think about it. Well, we're definitely going to talk about it. Or maybe you have a really great website and you're generating a ton of leads, but the leads suck. Why do the leads suck? Well, maybe your traffic isn't good. We're going to talk about that too. But keep this in mind as we go through these slides. Where am I in this journey? Okie dokie. The 3 pillars of a revenue generating machine. Revenue generation engine. We changed that last minute. So when we're talking about a full funnel revenue generating system, the 3 major components, high level, are as follows. Generating quality traffic to your website. We don't want just any traffic coming to the website. We want high quality traffic coming to the website. We're going to talk about what that means. Once we're generating high quality traffic to the website, making sure our website is optimized for conversions. So website conversion optimization. And number 3, finally, when we've done all the work to generate high quality leads and they end up in our CRM, making sure that we're doing the things that we need to do in our CRM to take that lead from MQL state or SQL state down the funnel to money. All right, so we're going to get into all these things. But before we get into building any kind of systems, we need to talk about strategy and planning. First things first, we have to define our goals. Okay? What do you want to accomplish with all of this? And really get clear on all of this, right? Do we want to generate leads? If we want to generate leads, what kind of leads? Maybe we want to generate signups for our product if we're a SaaS company. Maybe we want to get freemium signups or signups for our enterprise SaaS. Whatever it is, it's important to understand sort of what you want to do before we get into anything. And really the 2 things I like to focus on when we're building a system like this, or when I'm building a system like this for my clients, or doing any kind of traffic generation and conversion strategy, is 2 things. Who is your ideal customer, right? And what do you want to sell them? All right. And we're not going to dive too deep on ideal customer profiles because there's a ton of content about that online. I have some resources in one of the slides if you don't know how to do this, but it's important to understand who we want to target. Presumably, you have a bunch of different customer types that you could potentially sell to. But I would imagine there's probably one or two that are your best customers, that are the best ones, like they're your favorites. And it could be the customers that, you know, are the easiest to work with, or maybe your company is most well suited to actually service compared to your competitors. Maybe it's the customers that generate the highest profit margin, whatever it is. Like I know for my company, there are certain customer types that I prefer to have. So it's important to think about that up front because when we're building a system like this, we want to start narrow, you know? We want to target like one customer type, make the system work, and then extend it to the next customer type. So think about who your ideal customer is. And also, what do you want to sell them? Pretty similar to figure out your ideal customer type. Presumably, you have multiple services and multiple products that you could sell to your customers. Well, once you figure out your ideal customer, it's probably going to become really obvious to you which product or service is ideal for you to sell to them. But even think about your products and services this way too. Which product or service do we love more than all the other ones, right? It could be the one that your team is like uniquely amazing at fulfilling, or the service or product that has the highest profit margin, et cetera, et cetera. Spend some time thinking about this because if we're going to pay for traffic, because we're going to talk about PPC, wouldn't it behoove us to like target the people that we like to work with and sell them the things that are like going to make us the most money or be the easiest to fulfill? I think so. And we have to know our numbers. So for the purpose of building a system like this, we need to know our lead to close ratio. If I were to give you, let's say 10 leads, so 10 excellent leads right now for your ideal customers, how many of those can your sales team close? 1, 2. What is your sales to close, lead to close ratio? 10%, 20%? It's okay if you don't know it now, but there is an answer to this question, and you really need to get clear on what that is so we can do revenue forecasting later down the line. You can also look at industry benchmarks for stuff like this. There are industry benchmarks. I actually have a link in the resources slide, so make sure you get these slides because I have a bunch of industry benchmarks in there, and one of them is the lead to close ratio. Actually, you can click on that link. I think that might even be it. But if you don't know what your lead to close ratio is, take the benchmark from your industry and just use that for now, but make sure you're tracking this over time. And then we need to know our customer lifetime value. If I were to give you a deal and you were to close it of your ideal customer type, how much money would you make from that person or company over time, over the length of their engagement with you? It's super important to know these two metrics. Each section has a resources slide, so get the slides and you'll have all the resources. Okay, the first pillar, we're going to talk about generating traffic. But we're not just generating any traffic. We want to generate high quality traffic. Because if we get a lot of traffic to the website and that traffic is not good, or those visitors are not relevant to our company or our products and services, then we might generate a lot of leads, but they're going to be bad leads and they're going to waste our salespeople's time, right? So we want to generate high quality leads. Typically, when we're talking about high quality traffic, we want to target our ideal customers when they are on the internet, on Google, trying to solve their problem, for example. Point is, we want to target our ideal customers and bring them to our website at the moment that they're ready to take action. So we don't even want our ideal customers to come to our website. We don't want just that. We want our ideal customers to come to our website when they're actually ready to take an action. What kind of action? Some kind of money action, right? Booking a demo with our sales team, filling out a form to have someone follow up with them about a service. So this is what we mean by high quality traffic. And this can't be understated. You know, if we're going to go through the trouble of generating traffic and paying money for it, we want to know who we're targeting and we want to get them to our website when they're ready to do what we want them to do. And we have to mention the buyer's journey, because how do we know when our ideal customer is ready to do what we want them to do? Well, if they're our ideal customer, they're probably a good fit for our products or services at some point, but maybe not right now. Maybe they don't even have, maybe they're a good fit for our products and services, but they don't have a problem yet. We don't want them. You know, we want them at some point, but we don't want them to come to our site now. And especially not if we're going to pay for traffic. We want to pay for the traffic that's going to convert. So we want our ideal customers to come to our website when they're in all of these stages of the buyer's journey. Not really. I don't think so. I mean, I don't want to neglect the awareness stage, but again, if we're going to create a sort of money-making machine, getting people to the website that are in the awareness stage is a good practice overall. Yes, I'm not poo-pooing on awareness stage, top of funnel marketing. I'm just saying it would probably be better off if we targeted people in the consideration or the decision stages of the buyer's journey. Okay? Because those people are more likely to take action now. Think about it like if let's say you're like a mortgage company. I used to be a mortgage broker, so I always use mortgage examples. If you're a mortgage company and someone goes onto Google and they type in mortgage, well, and your site shows up, they might come to your site wanting to learn about like what mortgages are. They're not necessarily ready to take an action, right? So they might not even be in the awareness stage. They might just be researching mortgages, but at best, they're probably going to be in the awareness stage. If they go into Google and type in something like refinance my home now, they're probably in the consideration or decision stage, right? They know they have a problem. Their problem is that they need to save money on their mortgage by getting a lower rate. And they're like looking for a company, right? And when we start to think about paid traffic, PPC, and Google, and doing Google ads, we really want to think about the intent behind their searches. And, this intent, we can actually target people by their intent by bidding on keywords strategically. All right. But I just want to keep the buyer's journey. I want you to keep the buyer's journey in mind when we're thinking about who we want to bring to our site. We want to bring traffic to our site of our ideal customers that are like in one of these bottom stages and ready to make some moves. My focus is always on paid traffic. I love SEO. I do. And I've been doing it I started out in SEO. But when we're building, if we want to build a predictable machine, you can't argue with it. Paid traffic is where it's at. And yes, it costs money, but who cares? If you can create a positive ROI where you create a machine where you put in $1 and 10 comes out, I want to do that all day. So I love paid traffic, Google ads, Facebook ads, not Facebook ads, excuse me. I mean, look, maybe for B2C, but we're probably all B2B people on this call, I would imagine. But with paid traffic, you get immediate results, right? You can start generating traffic now. Precision targeting. On Google ads, you can target people that are, based on their search intent, which is actually pretty incredible. And then you can tell Google where on your website you want them to go. So it's predictable, it's precise, and it's scalable. Once you build an ROI machine with these ads, and I like to, when I work with clients in PPC, I like to start out with small budgets. I'll start out with like $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. I mean, assuming that we can get enough data with that money. But then once we have an ROI that's working, scale it up. If you have a money machine, put money into it. All right. And what channels should you choose? I just heard something about ChatGPT coming out with ads. That's going to be very interesting. That's not on this slide. I literally just read that last night, but we should talk about that. In general, I love Google ads. Okay. Intent-based search. I mean, you can basically target anyone. And if you know how to do intent-based keyword targeting, then you can target anyone when they're ready to make a buying decision. And that's pretty incredible. Okay. LinkedIn ads is actually pretty amazing too. They're a little pricey, but again, like I said, if you can make a money machine, who cares how much it costs if you can get a positive ROI? LinkedIn ads is incredible because if you're doing account-based marketing, which I bet a lot of you are, if you're in B2B, or maybe you should be, but you can target people by their job title and the company they work at, which is pretty incredible. Facebook and Instagram ads I have to mention because they're mainly for B2C, right? Like the decision maker at some B2B company is probably, he's on Facebook, she's on Facebook, but she's not in a buying mentality when she's on Facebook. She's like looking at her pictures of her kids or something. So we generally want to use Google ads or LinkedIn ads to generate net new traffic. Okay. Just depending on sort of the way you want to target your visitors. That's up to you. I use both. I love both. And I do want to mention website visitor retargeting. Okay. We're going to spend money to generate net new traffic, but now we know how to do that. Now we know how to get our ideal customers to our websites at the moment they're ready to take action. But guess what? Not all of them are going to take action. I know it's crazy. Some of them are going to come to your website, even if they're in the decision stage and they like your product. They might just get distracted, leave your website. We need to do website visitor retargeting to get them, to remind them that we exist. And honestly, we can do website visitor retargeting on any one of these platforms, even Facebook, right? Just want to remind them that we exist, get them back to the site to do the conversion. Okay, this is an important slide. We basically have two options for generating quality traffic. You can either become an expert at it, or you can hire an expert. There's no third option. Option 3 is that's a joke. You can try it without expertise, but Google makes it so easy to set up an ad. Why? Because that's how they make all their money, right? So they want you to create ads. They don't care if you don't generate good results. They're not your business. Once you start paying them for ads, that's how they make all their money. But the only way you're going to generate high quality traffic is if you learn deeply these topics and become an expert at SEO or PPC. You have to become a traffic generation expert. Or you can hire an expert, a freelancer, an agency. One way or another, an expert has to be involved in the generation of high quality traffic. And whether you do hire an expert or become an expert, you need to know your numbers, always. You're going to need to know your cost per lead. Because look, before we even run a campaign, we want to be able to run a campaign. See, this is a thing that a lot of companies don't do, and they need to start doing this. You need to be forecasted. You can forecast ROI before you even run an ad. There's a way to do that. And it's shocking to me how many companies and how many, I'm going to say it, marketing agencies also don't know this and don't do this. I'm not calling anyone out. I'm just saying I've seen this over the years. Before we start, we really want to get clear on what our cost per lead is going to be. There are ways to figure that out. You can use tools like SEMrush. I have a link to SEMrush in the resources tab. You can use industry benchmarks. I also have a link to the industry benchmarks in this tab. You'll see, right? On the right-hand side. This is WordStream. You have a link to it over here, but this is going to tell you in general, based on your industry, how much you should be paying for a click, what your conversion rate should be, and what your cost per lead should be. These aren't a one-size-fits-all thing, but they give you a baseline for judging sort of where you should be out of the gate when you launch these campaigns. So you need to know your cost per lead. How much is a lead going to cost us? And you need to know your customer acquisition cost. How much is it going to cost to acquire a customer? Well, how do you figure that out? If your cost per lead is $100 and your team closes 10% of those leads because we did our sales to close rate ratio earlier, then you know that it's going to cost $1,000 to generate one new customer. Okay, good. So to generate one new customer costs us $1,000. Then if you compare that to your customer acquisition cost, that is your customer acquisition cost. If you compare that to your CLTV or your customer lifetime value, and you know your customer lifetime value is $10,000, well, now you have the whole picture. You can say, based on industry benchmarks, it's going to cost us $100 to generate a lead. We only close 10% of the leads that we get. So it's going to cost us $1,000 to generate a customer, but we make 10 grand from that customer. So that's a 10x return on ad spend. Is that good? I think so, but you have to take into account your profit margins. So a 10x ROI sounds great, but what's your profit margin? If it's 10%, that's not so great. If it's a 60% profit margin, well, okay, now we have a real money machine. So these are the calculations I want you to be thinking about before you're setting up these ads. And whether you become an expert or you hire an expert, you need to know this stuff. Because if you become an expert, you need to know this to set up your ads and calculate profitability ahead of time. If you hire an agency, we all know there's a lot of bad agencies out there. That's a fact. There are some good ones, but there are some sketchy players out there, sketchy freelancers, sketchy agencies, or just even if they're not sketchy, they just don't know their stuff. They promise a lot and then don't deliver. And if you start asking them questions like this, like how much money are we going to be paying for a lead? And they say to you like, well, it's too early to tell. We haven't even run any campaigns. That's a red flag. Come on. Or if they're not asking you questions like what's your customer lifetime value, or talking to you about customer acquisition cost, that's also a red flag. Are they not forecasting this stuff up front? So we need to hold them accountable. Resources, a lot of good ones here in the marketing slide. A lot of good ones for learning traffic generation. HubSpot Academy has an awesome PPC course. Here's another link to 10 essential PPC courses. Learn as much as you can if you're going to become an expert. And it doesn't take that long. A few months, you'll be crushing it. And then always getting better over time, right? SEMrush, really good tool for keyword research, forecasting, all of these things that I was just talking about. Analysis, competitor analysis. You can see what keywords and what sort of PPC strategies are working for your competitors and then basically copy them. Marketer Hire, I haven't used them yet, but I think it's like a platform for hiring a marketer. And I don't know, their site looks cool. Like I want to check them out. So I put the link here. I've never used them before, but I get the sense that they might be good. Okay, let's talk about website conversions. So now that you're generating high quality traffic to the website because you either became an expert or you hired an expert and now quality traffic is coming to the website, is your website optimized for conversions? The first thing you want to do, especially when you're doing paid targeted traffic, is to plan your conversion path. Who are we targeting? What do we want them to do on the website that's going to generate us money? And then what does that flow look like? It starts at the ad click. That's where your conversion path really starts. It starts at the ad click, and then ideally we want to send them to a landing page on our website. We'll talk more about landing pages later. And on that landing page, there's a point of conversion, a form, a calendar booking, right? Something like that. We want to think about these conversion paths though, because we want to lead our customers or our prospects anyway, down the path of least friction to making the conversion. We can assume that the traffic coming to our website are going to know what to do or are going to do the thing that we hope they do. No, we have to hold their hand. We know what we want them to do, okay? And we need to lead them down the path of least resistance to do the thing. So we're going to talk about landing pages in a second, but I do want to address the low-hanging fruit, because if you're going to go through the trouble of optimizing your website, then optimize the important aspects of your website first. Okay, this isn't really required, but it's like low-hanging fruit. We should just do it, okay? So optimize your homepage. The homepage is like a catch-all for any type of traffic, even paid traffic. People that you pay for clicks, they come to a landing page, but then they click on your logo and they get back to the homepage. Like the homepage is just going to be a catch-all for all kinds of traffic. So I almost like treat it like a sort of pillar page where it sort of has a simple sort of collection of all of the things that could possibly exist, like kind of like every service and maybe one or two products on there, whatever it is. You want to make it easy for those people to self-qualify, find what they're looking for easy, and go deeper down the funnel that is right for them. Then we have our high traffic pages. Go to your Google Analytics. I guarantee you there are certain pages for whatever reason on your site that are generating a lot more traffic than others. Maybe they got like a really good backlink from a high traffic site, or they're just like crushing on social media or something. But your high traffic pages, and they do exist, just make sure that they are optimized for conversions. And we'll go through what that means in just one second. And your bottom of funnel pages. These are the pages that people would only come to if they were about to make a purchase or make a conversion, right? So if like you're a SaaS company, this is probably like your pricing page, some kind of like bottom of funnel page where they would only be on that page if they were ready to do something. Just make sure that those are optimized for conversions too. And on website pages, what do we mean by optimizing for conversions? Well, adding conversion elements strategically. You have call to actions, right? Buttons that lead to a conversion, like filling out a form or something like that. Pop-ups and slide outs, live chat and chat bots. Live chat, let me just say something about live chat. I put live chat on all my bottom of funnel pages, and I never put it on top of funnel pages, like homepage, because I just find that the people that come to the homepage and engage in live chat waste time. And the people that are on bottom of funnel pages, like let's say you have somebody, you're an enterprise SaaS company, and that person's on your pricing page, and they're about to sign up for your enterprise product, and all they need to do is just ask one question before they give you money. Well, it would behoove you to have a live chat on there so they could just get that answer to their question really quick before signing up. So I like to put live chat and chat, not really chat bots, but live chat on bottom of funnel pages. We can add a calendar booking widget. HubSpot has a good one. Forms, interactive content. These are all things that we can add to our website pages based on the conversion type that you want to achieve. But really, for the purpose of building this system, we're going to want to work with landing pages, okay? Because landing pages are special because they are targeted, okay? So we'll go back to the mortgage scenario. Someone clicks on an ad that we just created for refinancing my home. We don't want to send that traffic to our homepage. We're not assuming that they're going to find the refinancing page on our mortgage website. We want to send them to a dedicated landing page that is only about mortgage refinancing, where the ad text matches the H1 header above the fold on the landing page. These landing pages are special. They're targeted. They are basically an extension of the ad that was just clicked. We want them to arrive at this landing page and feel like, oh, I'm in the right place. And there's no distractions on these pages. The only goal for a landing page is to get them to convert. Here are some landing page best practices. Your landing pages should have one purpose, and that purpose should match the intent of the ad. So if your ad was about mortgage refinancing, then the only thing that can be on that landing page is information about mortgage refinancing. I hope you guys know generally what a mortgage refinance is. I throw around those terms very easily because I know a lot about it.
I feel, and I was thinking about it. I've been in home building and lending and real estate for so long. I was like, oh yeah, that's like totally. And then I was like, maybe people don't know what a mortgage refinance is, but it's totally okay. I think most people understand the general concepts.
Okay. I hope so.
You're good. I do want to just jump in real quick. We're at about 20 minutes to go. Okay. And want to make sure we can get through. I know the CRM section is a little bit shorter, but I want to just make sure we can get through this last part. We do have quite a few questions in the Q&A that are popping in. So I just want to give you a heads up that we can use that time for Q&A, or we can keep rolling through and take the questions to connect, whatever you prefer.
Thank you for the heads up, because a lot of times I'm not looking at the clock, and I'm going to cruise through these. We'll be done in 3 minutes. So landing pages should have a single purpose. the purpose is to convert. So we want to have no distractions. We want to have just enough information on our landing pages to remind the visitor that they're in the right place and guide them towards the conversion. Your headlines on your landing pages should match the ad copy. Not verbatim, but close to. It reassures the visitor that they're in the right place, and Google will also reward you for creating a seamless experience with a lower cost per click. Focus on a single call to action. If you want the person to, if the conversion that you want is for them to fill out a form for your sales team to contact them, don't have a form on there and a calendar booking and a newsletter sign up. One call to action. Minimize navigation. We want to remove navigation from landing pages. Anything that is not about the conversion, remove. Simplify forms, please.
I'm gonna interrupt you because I want to
Mm.
jump in on this because
Good.
as somebody who has worked with people on landing pages from themes in the marketplace, every developer is creating their landing page templates without menu navigation and without footer navigation. And everyone comes to me and they're like, "Hey, how do we add our social links to the footer on a landing page?" I'm like,
You
"No, you
don't.
don't want to do
That's a
that.
trick
Oh my
question.
gosh, they're not there for a reason. Leave
Yeah,
them off."
yeah.
So I just wanted to I feel like that had to be super emphasized. If you are using a HubSpot theme and it's a landing page template and it does not have links, they're not supposed to be there. You want it to be as streamlined as possible. That includes your header and footer. You don't
100%.
want that navigation. And if you want to use a different template for a landing page and it has navigation, you should be able to switch the header and footer out. So that's kind of just critical there.
Critical.
But yeah, keep going, keep going.
Critical. No distractions. And part of this is like an opportunity for us theme developers too. As you mentioned that, I started thinking I should really have more educational copy rather than lorem ipsum in some of my landing pages. I don't have too much lorem, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna rebuild my my default templates and generator to educate on why this landing page looks like that. So thank you for that idea. So
Yeah. Well, and Anton pointed out you do have to have the legal nav, which is fine. Most of the themes do include the copyright footer. So
no one's clicking those links.
landing pages have a copyright footer by default. Every theme I've used has one. And that's where typically you have two parts to your footer. You have your main footer section and you have your legal section.
Yep.
And I believe that every landing page template has that legal section on it. If yours doesn't and you need it for compliance, make sure you have it. But yeah.
And from a conversion optimization perspective, you don't need to worry about those links because nobody clicks on legal links.
Not on a landing page.
No. So
cool. Awesome. Susanna's removing her distractions right now.
Let's go.
I love it.
Real-time updates. I love it. All right, let me just get through this. So simplify forms, please. We want to reduce the amount of friction that it takes for our visitors to complete a conversion. First name, last name, email, maybe a phone number in the form if and only if your sales team needs to phone call follow up with them. We don't want any information in that form that is superfluous or that our sales team doesn't absolutely need to make an effective follow-up. So we want to create a balance between reducing friction for the form fill and also giving our sales team the information that they need to make an effective follow-up. So please, and especially important on mobile, 50% of your traffic is going to come from mobile. Make your forms easy to fill out. Who likes filling out forms on mobile? No, 0 people. So we want to make it easy. And then I have to mention page speed optimization because especially when you're doing paid traffic with PPC, your pages need to load fast. First reason, it's going to reduce your bounce rate. Statistically, more people will leave your site before it loads if it takes a long time to load. And that's a good way to guarantee that you're going to generate no leads. And Google will reward you with a higher capital Q, capital S quality score if your page loads fast. So that'll lower your cost per click and increase your everything. So page speed optimization, do it. Resources, check it out. Okay, in the CRM, I want to just focus on, I'm going to get through this in 2 minutes, but this is important. You're generating leads now. They're coming into your CRM. Not all leads are created equal. Some leads are going to be marketing qualified. Some are going to be sales qualified. A marketing qualified lead is somebody that downloads your ebook. they've signaled interest in your company, you should enroll them in some kind of email marketing campaign or something like that, but they have not signaled that they want to be sold to. And we're doing paid traffic here. So we want to target people. Ideally, we want to be generating SQLs. In any case, when a lead comes in, I really want you guys to be using life cycle stages and marking leads MQLs or SQLs, because we need to align our marketing and sales, I'll say efforts. Because if you're a one-man shop or if you're a big company, we need to align marketing and sales so that the two can talk to each other. But we want to generate SQLs here. That's what we're looking to do with paid traffic. But we need to delineate between MQLs and SQLs using life cycle stages, because when a lead becomes an SQL, our sales team needs to follow up with them within 5 minutes. Speed, because if we follow up with the lead within 5 minutes, we're 9 times more likely to convert. I read some others. There's a ton of statistics on this kind of stuff where if you wait 15 minutes, you have an 80% chance of never contacting the lead. We're going to spend money on leads. We just went through all this effort. Make sure we're marking the lead, lifecycle stages in SQL. Our sales team is getting notified automatically, and we need to track our salespeople sometimes. We need to make sure that they're actually following up with leads within a timely manner. You'd be surprised how many are adverse to this. And then finally, deal pipelines. Okay, when do we create a deal? When an MQL suggests that they want to be sold to, they become an SQL. When an SQL is, our sales team is going to probably talk to them, call them, qualify them. And when that SQL signals that they're ready to buy or they're interested in buying and they're qualified, we want to make them a deal. Okay. But and only then do we want to make them a deal. We don't want leads in our deal pipeline. We want our deals to be like money-making opportunities that are probably going to close. Make sure you enter your estimated closing date and your revenue amount, because we can use that to do revenue forecasting later. I also want you to go into your HubSpot settings and do 2 things if you haven't done it already. Customize your deal stages to match your sales process. This is going to get greater buy-in from your sales team, and it just makes sense to do it anyway. But also set your close percentages. Based on each stage that a deal could be in, what is the percentage likelihood of it closing? Because if you can do that, you can create charts like the one at the bottom, and you can actually forecast how much money you're going to make this month. And this is how we start to create a money machine. Right? We get to look at the traffic, the conversions, and then, okay, this is actually creating deals, and here's how much money we're going to make. And here are your resources for CRM. If you want to work with me, you can install a generator theme. I have a bunch of themes in the marketplace. Most of them are free. This is my paid theme. It's true drag and drop. It's optimized for conversions out of the box, optimized for page speed, and you get to work with me. I mean, what's better than that? You get 2 hours of personalized support. We can do strategy, lead gen strategy, talk about all this stuff in depth. Click that link to check it out in the marketplace.
Awesome. Oof. I mean, I wish we had like 10 minutes to talk about all the value that you get with Generator and premium themes over free themes, but that's not why we're here. Please, let us know how we can help you if you are choosing a theme. You've got a lot of people here who are working with themes all the time. I'm going to jump to the Q&A and I'm going to do my best. There are a lot. If we don't get to all of them, we will copy them over to connect.com and follow up there. And I will do a quick closeout to talk about connect.com and how you guys can engage with us there between events and carry this conversation forward with each other. So one of the first questions, these are not in order, but that's okay. Do you feel like there's any way to learn without actually spending money on campaigns? So before David jumps in, I will say if you are new to PPC and Google Ads, you can usually get at least a $500 credit to start. And that is usually enough to get some baseline information and insights to see like, hey, am I doing things right? And like, how is this working? And even just to see how Google Ads is configured and what the dashboard looks like and how it all works. That $500 credit was enough for me to like convince the company I was working for the first time I did PPC that they should invest at least that $500 a month for 6 months and they did. And then I ended up managing a $96,000 per month ad budget. It just grew from 500 and up, and the conversions were just there, and it was so valuable to them. So start with that $500 credit. It's all it takes. Just get started. But David, do you have any other? I mean, that's
no, that is literally the answer.
years
I mean,
ago.
go into the resources tab, look at those resources, take your courses, learn. At some point, you're gonna learn enough, and you're gonna be like, I can do this. And then at that point, go get your $500 credit, and we're gonna use that for testing. You're to get a real world sort of experience with running ads, and that $500 credit, Jen. Thank you for bringing that up. That is that's why Google does it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they want to give you a little taste.
Yep.
So yeah,
And
definitely use that $500 credit.
yeah, so tying in, because Kyle had a question about Google too, and it says, when should you have the buyer do direct to call Google ads versus visiting your website? I.e., law clients seem to benefit from an immediate call instead of a landing page and form fill out.
100%. And really, that's a really good point. Lawyers, any of these kind of like consultants where you just want to get a direct phone call, like that is those are great. There's really good tools for this too, CallRail. But you just got to think about your client and what kinds of leads would be the best for them.
Right.
So
And also, what are you targeting? What
Yes.
keywords? What stage of the funnel is your ad really targeting? And you have to be careful. If you are doing any competitive keywords and you do a call and somebody calls your client and they think they're calling the competitor, you can end up in this like really messy, yucky situation. And I really hope nobody's doing things like that. But like, just be really careful. Like, we had a home builder that was targeting our keyword, and our homeowners were calling them for warranty support.
General questions.
Yeah. And it was awful. So don't ever do that.
Those calls could cost $20, $30, $100.
Yeah. So next, I've got two that are kind of related. How important is persona to ICP mapping? And should you keep your ICP to something that's a smaller niche than most other companies? I think those are semi-related.
Yeah, I mean, I look at ICP and persona as the same thing or similar things, right? Your persona is the person, the decision maker, the actual human. The ICP is the company, right? So we really want to think about both. Who's the type of company we want to work with? Who's the decision maker at that company that's actually going to say yes to us? They both have pain points. The company has a pain point that we can solve. The person has a pain point that we can solve too. We want to get clear on all those things. But at the end of the day, we're selling to the person. We're communicating to the person. And the second part to that question was, what was it?
Hold on, sorry, switching back. Should your ICP something smaller niche than most other companies? And then how important is persona to ICP mapping? I think that's what we did.
In terms of niche, I believe the riches are in the niches. And but think about it like this, right? To Kyle's point, if you're targeting attorneys, lawyer, PPC is one of the top 3 most expensive ad types on Google. Your clicks are going to be like $20, $30, $50 a click, but it's high ticket items. That being said, you have we'll go back to the mortgage company thing because it's the thing that makes the most sense to me. If you're a huge mortgage company, you are bidding on keywords like the word mortgage. And those large companies are bidding on general terms like mortgage. If you're a smaller company with a smaller budget, it is probably better to focus on some niches. Like if you're doing lead gen for attorneys, maybe you're doing ads for like a specific type of service that attorney offers. Like if they help tenants get out of their leases, Kyle, you know what I'm saying? Or things like that, because actually the cost per click for the niche stuff is generally going to be cheaper than the broad stuff.
Yep. And our last question, and so we should have time for me to do my Connect spiel after this. We just need like 2 minutes. You mentioned the impact of LinkedIn ads. Do you have any tips? Over the past year, my LinkedIn ads have really reduced in performance, even though we've really tried to optimize the targeting. And this is from Nikki.
It's a deep topic.
Yeah.
And I would have to talk to you in person and ask you a lot of questions about who you're targeting, how you went about it. This is deep. I- you
Let's,
know,
so why don't we take this question? Here's what I'll do. Nikki, I'm gonna take your question. I don't know if you're in Connect already or not, but I'm
good
gonna
idea.
add that to as a reply in the community and see if we can get some feedback and keep that conversation going because I think it would be valuable to a lot of
Yeah, and add some
members.
color to the question too. Give us some more details.
Yeah.
This will get our brains turning, and we can give you a good response.
Yeah. All right. So if you can go to the next slide, because I want to make sure I have a chance to drop all of these cool links in the chat. So for anybody who didn't get it at the very beginning of the call, I'm first going to drop in the special invite. So this is a private community on Connect.com. Connect.com is, as I said, little communities within the HubSpot ecosystem. You've got founder focused, you have AI, you have marketing against the grain. There's tons of conversation happening around HubSpot, HubSpot Academy. And we are the first hub to have our own community. So right now it's private and you need this invite link. So make sure you join with the link. And then we also created a post. So which pillar do you need to focus on first? We would love to hear which of these pillars you're working on. We were hearing live that, we're removing distractions from landing pages. Those are all really great things. And we just want to hear what you're doing. If you have any tips or tricks or experience, with any of these topics, we'd love to hear that. And then, just join us. There's an intros channel. If you want to introduce yourself, we'd love to get to know you more. Right now we're at like 41 members on Connect.com out of like, I don't know how many. I think our hug is huge now.
Hundreds.
I'm gonna, in my like 1 minute, I'm gonna look to check what our membership is looking like right now. Let's see. It's huge for me. For Anton and being in the dev hug, he's probably like, oh, that's not a huge amount of members. But we have 363 hug members.
Boom.
So we only have 41 on Connect, and we want to grow that. We want to keep the communication open. Like we do quarterly events. I'm not as streamlined as the dev hug and the super admin hug. If you guys are a part of that, they can do events weekly or monthly or, more frequently. And we have such big topics. Like this was a lot of information. David did amazing. And just so much information packed into this hour. We want to make sure we can have that conversation carrying on between events. So Connect.com is the place to be. Joshua, the slides will get sent out. I have to wait for Bevy to process the recording and then get that on YouTube. And once I can send all of that out, you'll get the recording, you'll get the slides. And David, if you want to click through, we can just give them a sneak peek of the resources that you I
broke them into different slides.
Oh, you put it in the different. Yeah. That's right. They're in the different sections now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we'll make sure you get all those resources and everything for anybody who's made it to this last minute. Thank you so much for hanging on.
Love you.
We will get you everything. David, that was just phenomenal. I'm sorry I had to chime in on a few things, but this was just so many ideas. And I think everybody's heads were just like churning through all of this and digesting it. So
I just want to say that the point is that all three of these pillars are very deep topics. Yeah. We could spend months on each one of these topics, but I want to show from a high level the entire system and then give you resources on how to go deeper based on where you need help. So that's why we want you to post in Connect. Where do you need help? Where are you struggling? Which one of these pillars? Which ones are you crushing it at? Give us some info and we can give you some advice and steer you in the right direction. But this was awesome. Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed this.
Yes, no, I am so grateful you were here. We are right at 10 o'clock on the hour. So everybody, thank you so much. I will stick around for like 2-3 minutes in case anybody just really has something pressing they want to throw at us, but enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much. And I'm going to stop the recording.